So, by popular request, I was asked, why don't you do a pick a card reading? So, here you go. So, it's very simple. You choose one of four piles. Only one, don't pick more than one, and don't be cheating. Other than that, take your time, pick the number that calls out to you. So, if you chose number one, your dark goddess is the Morrigan. And you have the 12th house with the element of water, with the sign of Scorpio, and then Shani or Saturn as your planet. And clarifying this whole reading are Two of Cups, Judgment, Nine of Pentacles, and Six of Blades. Obviously, there is something very, 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 very heavy in terms of emotion, as well as something that is stuck in your psyche that you are having very trouble in trying to get fulfilled and trying to be able to put an end to obtaining. Because since you have Saturn involved, it could be that there's something involving that is very sacrificing for. Something that you are restricted in, an obligation that has to be done. And you have an intense emotional attachment to it. And because of being in the 12th, this may be something that you have tried to escape from, or something that you have tried to ignore and push away from. However, the Morrigan is coming in telling you to stop being a wimp. You need to get this. You need to do this. Whatever this is, it has an intense emotional pull to it, and you must go in and transform it and actually fix it and deal with it. Because since the Two of Cups and Judgment are involved along with the Six of Blades, it can heavily indicate that possibly a past love connection is what needs to be salvaged. And because the Nine of Pentacles is there, not only is that a card that is showing that, okay, this individual is stable. This individual is able to withstand their own, and they're a strong solidarity individual. They have their needs being fulfilled, and they're able to take care of themselves. But however, because since this depiction of the Nine of Pentacles kind of looks like a clown, this can also be indicating that even Saturn is poking fun at you, telling you, oh, come on, you stupid clown. You see that over there? That connection? Yeah. Why don't you, put on your big boy pants or, big girl panties and, deal with it. Life's not meant to be fun. Life's not meant to be woozy-wooey. Life is meant to, do your karmic service and do what you're supposed to do. Dang it. Oh, I quit. I'm out. So, if there is a connection that you have an intense bond with, this is probably the time to heed the call, go back towards that connection, and salvage it for the best for both of you and the other individual involved. Now, this doesn't mean it has to be bad, but this has to indicate that this is something karmically deeply attached to you, and you have to go back and fulfill it. So, number 2. Your dark goddess is Nyx, and the planet is Venus. The element will be Earth. The sign is Aquarius, and then the house placement is the Lugna, the first. The card's clarifying. My card, the Star, the Magician, and then the Three of Pentacles. Oh, talk about cheesy. Well, essentially, this is a moment where love, romance, and having the awareness and knowing that you have to make sure that you're perfectly stable and you're confident in your ability to be able to give a structured love, a love that's practical, a love that is able to give security to someone. So, if you also are dealing with somebody who is a bit secretive in the way that they share their emotions and connection with you, just know that they're not doing it purposely. On the picture that is not really visible, they're actually very secure. They're actually keeping everything between you two standing. So don't be thinking that They don't love me because they're not speaking to me. No, 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 no. Know that just because their way of giving their love and emotion towards you, even though it's not how you would like it, it's still there. But now, because since you have the star and the sign of Aquarius, which actually go with each other, along with the fact that Three of Pentacles next to the Earth element, and the Queen of Cups, my card, next to Venus of Shukracharya, which is actually the highest love you can give someone, and the Magician in close to the first house card, or that would be Mercury in the Lugna, which actually Mercury will be then getting directional strength. Essentially, you're pretty well rounded and pretty guided in a way that can best help give you this sense of security and confidence, even when it may not be best apparent with this love. But nonetheless, this connection you have with somebody, or even vice versa, or you want this kind of connection, or you may actually be encountering this individual, but just know that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. And if you actually do have this feeling towards somebody and you're not connected with them yet, now's the time to actually take it out of being hidden and actually give it to them to the face. Not literally, but you get the idea. So proceed and let your real self go, and don't be afraid if you get rejected or not. Just put your best foot forward and actually start building upon it, because you have the tools to actually have it come into fruition with that Magician down below, and the star actually bestowing the wish on top of your head. So, good luck. Go get them. Do a flip. So, if you chose number 3, Chang'e is your dark goddess. Your element is wind, air. Your sign would be Pisces. The house is the 8th. And the planetary influence is Black Moon Lilith. Tarot-wise, clarifying, we have Temperance, the Wheel of Fate, the Lovers, and Justice. So, yeah, kind of similar to number 2, however, there is the idea of heavy transmutation, but as well the harsh reality to understanding that you're gonna have to really be just to yourself and be able to comprehend what's going on around you with this connection. Now, don't get me wrong, Pisces, Black Moon Lilith can be a very beautiful thing and actually have somebody being able to seduce you in a way that is very intoxicating. But because we have the 8th house and air being involved as well, you can most definitely have to consider that either you or somebody that you're romantically involved with, or somebody you might be encountering, they may be very mysterious and actually speak in a way that is very alluring and very intoxicating. If you choose to initiate and go towards this individual, that's on you. Or if you're trying to woozy-woo somebody, then do what you deem fit. But because the dark goddess in the center is Chang'e, and the word associated with her is obsession, but now keep in mind, obsession can be usually seen as a negative word, like, oh, so obsessed, can't think of anything else. No. In this way, I'd rather look at it as being hyperly focused on whichever endeavor that you're encountering with. And actually, since there's a total of 2 angelic cards, Temperance and Lovers, be careful whenever you have somebody trying to make something between the connection between you two. Don't let them be moving a bit too fast. Kind of do be a bit hard to get, be a little bit challenging, and most definitely keep it pretty, how do I put this? Make yourself have to be earned, and make sure that you know that this individual is willing to put in the time, work, effort for you, and then you can actually start giving back in the just fair treatment. But this connection can bring you luck, but it can also potentially bring you downfall. But again, play your cards correctly. Don't get woozy wooed. Be down to earth. And you actually might have a really good connection along here. But remember, Black Moon Lilith with mystery and also empowerment. Empowerment of yourself must come first, and that's where you must stay devoted to. Because once you lose empowerment of self, you in a river up the paddle. Yeah. You're up the river without a paddle, and now you can't paddle your way anywhere. Now you gotta hold on to your hat, Mac, and hopefully you don't crash into River Rock and have your neck be broken in two. Make sure you have strong confidence in self first, and then always speak your needs, speak how you're feeling, speak where you stand, and stand up to it. Don't let anybody push you around. And if you're not ready for a connection, just say so. Make sure that you're perfectly balanced with yourself first. And then transformation will come as needed. Just don't get woozy-wooed by, oh, love again. No, don't be too woozy-wooed. But just communicate your need to have a higher form of wisdom, intellect, and moralistic thinking before you can even think about jumping into a connection with this individual in question. That is all for this one. Last but certainly not least, number 4. The element for you is fire. The sign is Aries. The house is the 7th house, and the graha or planet is Rahu, the north node. Your clarifying are the Ace of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the Devil, and Death. Your dark goddess is none other than the lovely Lilith. So, if you want to have the okay to go towards something and actually involving another person, or the a-okay to actually have a partnership with someone, or to actually have the okay to go after someone and turn up the sass on them, here is your stamp of approval for it. Now, having Lilith as your dark goddess, sometimes you may have to carry out acts of revenge, but hey, if it must be done, it must be done, right? And even at that, with the Queen of Swords in there as well, yeah, Queen of Swords does not put up with anybody's BS. Turns up the sass, flips them off, and tells them how stupid they are, because that's how it is. They're stupid, and they need to stop being stupid. Otherwise, they're going to get their weave chopped off. With the Ace of Wands also being involved, next to the fire element, and with Aries below it, you have a lot of willpower backing you up, and a lot of inner strength in pushing this poor stick into somebody's head that needs to be whacked with. Now, Rahu next to Death, you may have to also, as soon as this endeavor is closed out, be able to let it go and allow something new to come in after you have dropped an anvil on somebody's head, metaphorically. But as well, above it, you have the Devil next to the 7th house of partners and other people and contracts, commitments, and also the marketplace. So, believe it or not, you actually may be able to get this individual who you actually karmically backhand, metaphorically. You actually may get them to actually be more compliant, and or you actually may gain some kind of control over them and being able to influence them to actually help you with your cause. But specifically, again, that Queen of Swords and that Ace of Wands with those 2 fire cards next to it and Lilith in the middle, I mean, somebody must have really messed up. Or you actually might be having a friend of yours stepping in and they're going to be doing this for you. Or you can actually possibly be stuck from somebody who used to be like a partner in crime or a business partner or even a spouse figure trying to keep you detained. And then you have a friend of yours, being the Queen of Swords, coming in with the Ace of Twigs and then just going bat crazy and batting for you. And at the end of it all, the Death card comes in and puts an end to it and allows this thing to be blown over. And then you get your just treatment for having Lilith be at the center, so that way you get what's fair to you, you can move past this, and then you can turn and laugh at the dimwit that, pretty much got his tushy handed to him. And then you can be free to move on your life and be able to put this behind you. Or you actually might be the friend doing this for somebody else. Just be very careful, because I'm getting the idea of somebody, at least on the devil side, like possibly even somebody that's a bit of a cold, cruel, manipulative kind of a person, trying to actually intimidate you with the Ace of Wands. But again, you have the Queen of Swords, and she doesn't back down from anybody. Like, she will literally flip them off. Just watch your P's and Q's, and when the time strikes, let the Queen of Swords take off the devil's weave, chop it into pieces, and then flip them off and saying, well, there goes your weave, hon. You're going to have to find some new horse tush to fix that now, don't you?